Well, two big things. I mean, they do run the ball really well, and they run the outside zone as good as anybody in the country. Their backs are really good at it. But I think where they get you is a lot of misdirection shots. They got us last year on those things. So the combination of those two things, somehow figuring out a way to, slow down their running game, but also not give them the big shots down the field. We can't let Wilson stand back there and have all day to throw the football, and we got to keep him contained. They're pretty scary offensively.
You worked for Mike for a year. You've known him for 30, probably. Why is that operation successful on a regular basis under him?
The offense?
Just in general, the William and Mary team.
Well, obviously he's an excellent coach. He's done it for a long time. He's been a head coach quite a few years. I'm sure he's tweaked things as the years go on, like I have, to try to just continue to get better. But, Mike is a smart football coach, but I think just being around him for the 1 year, I think the biggest thing is how he relates to the players. I mean, he does a great job with that. He's got great culture in his program, and so he's a little bit more lovey-dovey than I am, to be honest with you. I think we're a little different. You want to build cultures, and both you try to, but I think Mike's probably a little bit more of a player's coach than I am. And I don't know if I'm saying anything bad about that, but and again, a lot of different ways to do it.
Having the running attack that you guys have, how much does that prepare your defense for teams that might try to do it as well as you guys do?
Well, they're different than us running the football. We're not a huge outside zone stretch team, and they are. And to prepare for this, this week has been, is difficult. And so, I think the running games are different, how they go about their running game. But I think they do a heck of a job, and they've done a great job, man, of knowing what they want to do. They don't have a whole lot of run plays. They'll run outside zone, and they've kind of gotten into a little bit of gap scheme stuff, but not much. But they hang their hat on it, and they do a great job with it.
This is a playoff game for them. Do you anticipate them maybe taking more chances, maybe trying to show you things that they haven't done before, because if they lose, there's no rest of the season for them?
I'm not sure how much more they could show. Their offense is extremely complicated, a lot of moving parts. I'm not sure how much more they could come up with when what they've done all year. So, yeah, there'll probably be a wrinkle or two, but, they've got, and you don't even want to say they're gadgets or wrinkles, because it's part of their offense, and there's a lot of moving parts, and, they're trying to get people open in different ways. But they've done it all year. They did it against us last year. So if there's something new, a different gadget, we'll see. But, for the most part, this is what their offense is. I mean, a lot of moving parts.
How important is it to your program to keep this rivalry going after this year, when you guys are no longer conference opponents?
Well, that's huge. I think that was probably the earliest conversation when all this was transpiring, is how can we keep the William and Mary game. I know next year it's the last game of the year, but after that, it's probably going to be sprinkled in a lot of different spots. It'll have a little bit different feel about it, just because it's not the last game of the year, but it'll have the same intensity. I don't think there's a question about that, but maybe just a little different.
Your second program, I wonder why this works here and things have gone well in terms of just cohesiveness and that sort of thing.
Definitely just the team and the coaches. I mean, they're so welcoming when I came in. They really brought me in. They added me to the linebacker group, and since day one, everyone's trying to help me. Everyone's trying to include me in everything, so that's really helped. And just the coaches always being there for extra film, and then any questions I have, just go to them. Always there for advice, and it really means a lot. It makes us so cohesive, like you said, the process and transferring schools.
Have you gotten into the swing of this Capital Cup thing?
Definitely. I mean, Obviously, the rivalry is a big thing, one of the longest going Southern rivalries, and I'm really excited to play in it. Start my first game in the rivalry, so it's gonna be a great game.
They try to run on everybody, so I imagine they're going to try to run on you.
Yes, sir.
How do you counteract that?
I think we just have to be strong on our keys. Come physical. We know what they're gonna do. We watch our film, so just keep watching film and prepare.
What makes them so effective as a rushing team?
They have big guys up front, good running backs, very physical, hard nosed. They're also very experienced. A lot of guys bring back for multiple years, been in the system for multiple years. So guys playing with each other has really helped them, and I think it's going to be a good game, like I said.
How much does going against ZPS and Andrew in practice every day help you prepare for some of the other teams that like to run as much?
Yeah, it's definitely very helpful. I mean, they're two really good backs. I actually had the privilege of playing Zach last year in my old school, so me and him played each other before. But yeah, they definitely help us a lot. Just going against them all camp and going against them in practice has really helped us prepare for any kind of team.
I know, as Mr. O'Connor said, you're a little bit new to this, but how much do you guys talk in the locker room? No. There's no way we're losing this Saturday. Not this game, not with everything you've done so far this year. How much of it is just that kind of attitude?
I mean, since the first day I got here, it's always been the big rivalry against William Mary. So this game's been on the circle on the calendar, and excited to play.
Are you guys, I think I asked Coach this last week, but are you guys good at just compartmentalizing everything, keeping the losing streak out, keeping whatever might come next out, and just focusing on the task at hand each week?
I think any record, any year with William Mary, it's going to be William Mary versus Richmond no matter the record. So everyone's going to bring their best game. It's going to be hard-nosed fought game. There's going to be trash talk and everything. So you got to come ready and prepared.
What's a week like last week like for you when you have 15 tackles?
It was they ran the boundary a lot, so it was a lot of production for me. They liked to run the ball. That was a good run team, good running back. So, but honestly, it was just when they ran the ball to my side and I had to make the play, I made the play. That's just what it came down to. I mean, D linemen did their job. Everyone does their job. My job that day was to make all the tackles, and that's what I had the ability to do.
What can the last 2 weeks do for you guys? I mean, tight games down to the end. Defense has to make a play. It's not like the Bryant game, which was, decided by halftime. When it's that kind of game, what can that do to help you, whether that's Saturday or into the playoffs?
It shows our team's character, I feel like. I mean, the adversity we had to go through in both games, staying strong, not panicking, really shows as a defense and as a team in whole how well we can be. And when we get in those opportunities against good teams and in the playoffs, that we're going to be able to fight through and still be able to play, even though it's going to be adverse situations or stuff's not going to go our way all the time.
Is there any sense that, we want to keep that cup here, but it could also get us in a position where it could be more favorable in the playoffs, to get a week off, to get a home game, that if this team does want to make a deep run, no guarantees, but that could be helpful?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously we want to go 1-0 each week. That's the message. So focus on that, but obviously that does have the benefits after the week. We're not really focused on that right now. We just want to be William Mary and see what happens after that.
How has this thing proceeded to this point so well, do you think?
I think just as a team, we know that every play matters, and that throughout the season, Coach Huseman talks about the next game, the next play. I think just having that mentality, controlling what we can control, has helped us a lot. And yeah.
This is not your first rodeo with William and Mary?
No.
What's different when these two teams get together?
Been playing this game for 6 years. Started as a freshman against them. This year, though, I think it's always a little chippy type of game. You got to keep your cool. You don't want to cause penalties to hurt your team. I think that's a big emphasis this week. Is you can be chippy, but don't be chippy like after the whistle, doing things that would hurt and penalize the team.
This is a playoff game for them.
Mm-hmm.
What does that add to it from their side, do you think? What do you expect? Anything different because of that?
I think they're going to be high energy, a lot more aggressive. I think they're going to bring probably one of their best games this year against us, and it's a rivalry, so it's even heightened even more. So I expect their best game.
How much do you guys collectively just enjoy how successful you've been at running the ball this year with Andrew and ZPS?
I mean, as an O-line, we love it. We love having big runs, running gap scheme. inside zone, and especially at the end of games when we have the ball. I know last game we didn't finish on that drive, but other games we have, and not everything goes our way. But when we do get that chance, we want to finish it out with us. And having ZPS, Andrew, Aziz, all of them back there, it just adds a cherry on top because they're good running backs. So, yeah.
What was the feeling at the beginning of the game when ZPS reels off 54 yards on the first play, and you got a 1,000-yard runner back?
Yeah. So we ran. I think we ran counter or GT counter. I pulled. Parker pulled. And as soon as I see him, I think he broke a little ankle tackle or somebody slipped off of him, I just see him running. It just fired me up. I was yelling and all that as soon as I saw him break it. And yeah, it's just, congrats to ZPS. I've already congratulated him, but it's amazing having a 1,000-yard runner. And then, not just him. It's really a whole group, just like him, Aziz. Defenses have to prepare differently for King because he's a little bit more shiftier. ZPS is a little bit more, physical. Aziz, even more physical, I feel like. But, just the combination of having everybody, I think, has, allowed him to have 1,000 yards. Not taking anything away, but he's a physical runner and all that too. So, he's a workhorse. So,
what's it been like to have another old guy alongside on that offensive line and Tommy?
Yeah, Tom, he's great, smart, physical. He's from Pittsburgh, so he's gritty. We've been together since freshman year, and I don't think we could do it without him. Just because his calls, he keeps the whole line on the same page. So I think without him, it'd be a tougher season. So,
what's this year mean to you, considering you weren't playing during the playoff season and the championship season of last year?
Means a lot more. Or not that it didn't mean a lot last year. I was cheering on the team and all that. It's just I felt like I had to prove myself again, all over, especially with getting a new O-line coach and doing all that. I just want to, for one, I want to make it past the second round. I want to beat William & Mary, obviously, while playing him, because 2 years ago we didn't have that. I've won a couple games against him, but it's the next game against him, so that's what matters. So yeah.